Hey, what's up? This is your girl, Minister Tasha, and I'm gonna start doing something a little different. I've been spending some time in prayer, talking to God about the direction of this podcast. And while the name isn't changing, I'm still going to release content. What I am going to do is get a little bit more personal. For anybody that knows me, and you interact with me on a day-to-day basis, you know that I am by no means an open book, unless of course we have that established relationship, unless of course you come and ask me a question. I do not have a problem with being completely open and honest, but I say that I'm not an open book in that I'm not one to volunteer private information about myself. But I have been challenged in these past few weeks to be more open and transparent. One, because I realized that there are things that I've gone through personally that can help somebody else. But two, because that's the lane God is calling me to be in. I know growing up as a teenager and as a young adult, I would sometimes shy away from having conversations with Christians, and I would shy away from getting advice from Christians simply because it felt like they weren't being open and transparent to me. And I realized that we are now moving into this age where young people, whether it's a child, whether it's a youth, whether it's a young adult, and even older people, they want you to be honest, right? One thing that I've constantly heard from other people who work in youth and young adult ministry is that people are looking for transparency. As a leader in church, I realize the hesitancy in being transparent because there are some things that we have to protect. But I also realize that me being transparent could help someone else. While it's uncomfortable for me, hear me when I tell you, it is absolutely uncomfortable for me being transparent in this public space. I am praying and I am hoping and I am trusting that God is going to take the information that I share, that God is going to take my experiences and use them for His glory. One of the other things that I've often heard, and I know this to be true, every single thing that we go through isn't just for me, isn't just for us. Every single trial, every single temptation, every single struggle, every single challenge that I've experienced, every single challenge that you've experienced wasn't just for you. Some of those challenges was to help someone else, but that person will not be helped if I don't share my story. That person will not be helped if you don't share your story. So join me as I am open, as I am transparent, as I am sharing with you some of the lessons that I've learned, whether it's in ministry, whether it's in my career, or whether it's just in me being a human and trying to make it here on earth. While I do look forward to heaven, I realize that I'm still living here on earth every single day. So it is important that you and I both make the best of the opportunity and the time that we have here left on earth. So who am I? You know my name, right? You know that I'm a preacher, but I'm also a daughter, right? I'm a little sister. I'm a godmother. I have an absolutely wonderful godson who I am blessed to have a relationship with. I am a student. I think I probably already said that. I don't know. Whether it's academically or just in life, I'm a student of life. I believe that every situation that we encounter, there's a lesson in it, whether that lesson is for me personally or whether that lesson is for you, who knows? But in every single situation that we go through in life, there is a lesson to be learned. What else about me, right? That's important. I think one of the main things that about me that's important that I'm going to lean into is the fact that I'm getting ready to turn 40, right? Yeah, I may not look it, but I am turning 40. Today, as I'm recording this, is September the 17th, 2022. And your girl is turning 40 in 7 months.
Wow.
Yeah, 7 months from now, I will be 40. And if I'm being transparent, right, like I'm supposed to be, that's scary. Like I have my moments where I'm excited, but I have more moments where I'm like, what? Like, what? I'm turning 40, y'all. Like, I feel like I was just a teenager the other day. And let me say this, even though, you know, I play around sometimes a lot in my personal life, I'll be completely honest in saying that 40 scares me. Like, real talk, 40 scares me. When I was a young adult, matter of fact, when I was like 17, 18, I had this grand big picture of where I saw myself by the time I was 25 or 30, right? I saw myself married to my first real boyfriend, right? I saw myself married. I saw myself with kids in a nice house, established in my career. Like I had my whole life planned out, and I'm not there. Right? Yeah, I'm definitely not where I thought I would be. The boyfriend that I was with, he's married, but not to me. He does have kids, but not with me. Needless to say, right, that whole plan that I had did not turn out to actually happen. And sometimes that brings on a whole nother set of emotions. Even though that I can laugh about that right now, there are times where when I really sit down and think about the fact that I am not where I thought I would be, that gets a little sad, right? It gets a little depressing, because it's just like, wow, what have I been doing over the past 15, 20 years? Like, what have I been doing? Anything that whole list that I had written out hasn't really happened. And low key, like, that could be depressing, because here I am facing a milestone birthday, single, no kids. I'm still in school, thanks be to God, right? This was, I didn't think that I would be in school this long. Like, nah, I thought I would be done by now. But you know, I'm on that journey of being settled in what God has called me to. But I thought for sure by 39 I would be situated. Like, I would be set. I wouldn't have anything to worry about. But I'm still figuring out life, right? And the lesson, I think, for all of us is that, yeah, we could have had our plans written out, and yeah, we may not be exactly where we want to be, but there are some things that we can celebrate, right? At 25, I never thought I would be in ministry. Like, that was never, ever in my mind. I didn't, what, me? Tasha be a preacher? Like, where? In what life? Like, nah, because I didn't see women preachers growing up. My first interaction with a woman preacher was when I was 28. So that was never on the radar for me. Like, I had those typical childhood dreams of becoming a teacher. I played basketball, so I wanted to be a professional basketball player. I had dreams of going into law enforcement, right? I had those normal dreams. It was never, oh, well, asking 13-year-old Tasha, where do you see yourself in 20 years? And me say a preacher. Like, nah, that was nowhere a part of my plan. But here I am at 39, being a preacher for 5 years. And the blessing in that is that I'm where God wants me to be, right? And I say that this is a lesson for all of us to learn. Though we may not be exactly where we thought we would be 15, 20 years ago, we are exactly where God had us to be right now. Though everything on our list may not have been accomplished by now, we've accomplished everything that God wanted us to accomplish at this very moment. I am exactly where God wanted me to be at 39 years old. Was this my plan? No. But I'm learning, and I know scripture says, like, his ways aren't our ways. I am learning, and every day I have to learn this, right? I don't have this all together. Though I've been a preacher for 5 years, though I've been saved for 20 plus years, like, I don't have it all together. I'm still learning that God's plan is way better than my plan. God's desires for my life, God's will for my life is way better than anything that I can think or imagine. So let that be a lesson for you, right? Excuse me. Though you may not be exactly where you thought you would be, you're where God needed you to be at this moment. Though you may have experienced some things that you would have rather bypassed, you experienced everything that you needed to experience to make you who you are today, to help you become the man or the woman that you are today. You needed those trials. In order for you to be where you are today, you needed to learn some of those tough lessons, because now you can help somebody else, whether it's a young person or a fully grown adult. Now you can take your experiences. Now you can take every single lesson that you've learned throughout your course of life and teach that to somebody else. So back to my journey to 40. So I told you that turning 40, getting ready to turn 40 is a little fearful for me. And my desire in this new season of this podcast is to take you along that journey. I'm going to be sharing some lessons that I've learned over the course of my life, though it may be short. There are still some lessons that I've learned that I pray and hope could be a blessing to you. So I'm going to share with you some experiences that I've had. I'm going to share with you my fears, right? How many times do we share our fears? But there are some real fears that I have that I am working to get over. First fear, turning 40. But again, as I share this journey to 40, as I share my life with you, my number one hope is that God gets the glory in it all, right? This isn't about making my name great. This isn't about telling every single part of my story. This isn't about becoming famous. This isn't about any of that, because trust me, I would rather keep it to myself. Again, I'm a very private person. It is uncomfortable for me to sit in front of a video camera, a microphone. It is uncomfortable for me to do this because I don't know what to expect, right? I don't know how other people are going to take this. I don't know, if I'm doing this the right way, right? I don't know if the camera angle, it's a whole bunch of stuff that I don't know that can make me afraid, that makes me fearful, that makes me uncomfortable. But I have to do what it is that God is calling me to do. So join me again on my journey to 40. I pray and I hope that you're blessed. I pray and I hope that as I share my nuggets of wisdom, that they will be a blessing to you. If you have some feedback, by all means, leave me a comment, send me an email, reach out to me on Instagram at iam_tasha_m. But I really want this to be a space where we can learn together, grow together, and ultimately be who God has called us to be. Thank you again for tuning in. I never want to take for granted that you stop to listen, that you stop to watch, that you stop to share this with someone else. I never want to take your time and attention for granted. So thank you again from the bottom of my heart. I appreciate your support. I appreciate you tuning in. And let's get this. Let's go on this journey to 40. Travel with me, journey with me, pray for me, pray with me, and know that I am praying with you and I am praying for you as well. Until next time, I want you to know that I love you with the love of the Lord, and there's absolutely nothing that you can do about it. Peace.